everybody, welcome to my channel. I know it's a little bit of, again, a different setup, but I'm kind of like trying a couple different things. I'm actually sitting in a lawn chair upstairs because I don't actually have like any furniture up in the library yet. Like, I have one chair, but it's not like the most comfortable of chairs. We've got to figure out like the springs in the back of it. I'm like trying to look into like what kind of furniture I want up here. I kind of want like a lounge bed kind of thing, but it can't be too big because it is a smaller room. But I think that'll be kind of nice up here. But right now I'm just using a lawn chair. But we're going to be talking about the new books in April because there are an absurd number. Like, I feel like we have hit the time of year where everybody is starting to publish tons of books. So we've got a lot to go through. There are some sequels. I have added some sequels and some books on here that I'm not too sure that I'm super interested in, but I think a lot of you are going to be really, really interested in it. So doing that little public service for you guys, because I obviously cannot read all of these books because this is actually crazy. So we're going to go through these really fast. I'm not going to explain too much about them. If something piques your interest just from the genre and maybe the cover, then definitely go check that out. And if you've never been to one of these videos before, I do one every single month where we talk about the new books that are coming out in the next month. And so for this one, obviously this is April 2026 releases. I do generally focus on fantasy, romantasy, mystery thriller, horror, sci-fi, some sci-fi, not a lot of sci-fi, and some romance. If you're looking for historical fiction or a lot of contemporary fiction, definitely not going to be mostly on this channel. There'll be a couple of things, but not a lot. So if you are looking for that, definitely check out some other content creators. I'm sure there are some that also do that, but here it is generally fantasy. It's a lot of fantasy, but I do try to stick in a lot of horror. I do read a decent amount of horror. So anyway, with that aside, we have to get into this because there's so many books. First up, and one that I am not going to be reading unless I see just like everybody's obsessed with it, even people who didn't love the first book, but it is the sequel to Shield of Sparrows. I cannot talk about it. It is Rights of the Starling. I just didn't love the first one that much, so this is definitely not on my radar, but I know a lot of people are incredibly excited about this one. Next up, I love how I said I wasn't going to talk really about contemporary or that much romance, but this one looks really cool, and it just sounds kind of fun. So it's taking place on a cruise ship, which I'm obsessed with cruise ships, so automatically that's a win for me. Basically, they're aboard a cruise ship, and all 5 members of a famous 1990s boy band and 3,000 screaming women who have worshipped them for 30 years are aboard this cruise. So I think this sounds really fun. I definitely think it does lean more contemporary. Like, it's obviously a romance story, but it does lean very lit fic, contemporary, dealing with family drama. So that is something that slightly worries me about this one, but I love the premise. Next up, we have the next Meg Schaefer book, who is the author of The Wishing Game, which is a very controversial book that came out a couple years ago now. I either loved that book or had so many problems with it, but this is called The Book Witch. This one may be a little less controversial. She can hop into any novel, she can't stay there. Come along with the Book Witch and the magical and inspiring love letter to reading. Rainey March is a proud 3rd-generation book witch sworn to defend works of fiction from all foes, real and imaginary. With her magical umbrella and feline familiar, she jumps into and out of novels to fix malicious alterations in rogue heroes. So it's very timeline-esque. Like, do you know when you have, I mean, it's like the Marvel universe right now, but when you have a messed up timeline, someone goes back and fixes it, stuff like that. It kind of seems like that, but with books instead. So I think this is going to be like a very cozy fantasy. Next up is actually a romance that I saw, The Paris Match. I just really love this cover. This was definitely like a cover pick. A woman tests the limits of her so-called amicable divorce when she flies to Paris for the destination wedding of her former sister-in-law, only to butt heads with the deliciously gruff best man. I love books that have weddings in them because for me it's like automatic forced proximity. It's a forced proximity that makes a lot of sense. So a lot of times in these books that have forced proximity, it's one of my favorite tropes, but sometimes it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, some of the reasonings for why they have to be in the same room, have to be in the same venue, have to be at the same event, they're very just over the top, and I don't think they make a lot of sense. But if you throw a wedding in there, you are forced to be at events for that wedding, multiple events. So I think that is just a really classic and easy way for just a basic setting to make a lot of sense and the storyline to work really well. So I will always read something that's got a wedding in it. Next up, can't talk about this one too much, and I still haven't read the first one that came out, but it is the Shatter Me, their New Republic #2, and this one's gonna be called Release Me. I do have the first one, but I do want to reread the Shatter Me series before I move on to this new series. So I really, really have to do that. It kind of was one of my goals for this year, so we'll see if I finally do that. And by the way, all of these are still April 7th. So next is Marissa Meyer, which I'm a little bit nervous about now because I can't really say because the next video that comes out after this one will have the House Saphir in it, but that's a little bit of a hint if you're watching this one. That book didn't go super well, which I'm really sad about, but this one sounds so cool, and I'm just hoping I like it better than I did The House of Fear, because I do plan to read it. An unforgettable young adult murder mystery set in an escape room themed game show by Marissa Meyer. I mean, what else could you want? That sounds so good. I really wish there were more, especially adult mystery thrillers that took place in escape rooms. I tried reading one by, I don't remember who it was, Meg Golden, I think. I did not like that one. I was really bored. And then I think that's it. Like, I really haven't seen any other ones. I actually really like the movie Escape Room. I thought it was really, really good. So I would love to see more horror books or adult thrillers set in escape rooms. I feel like we're missing that little niche. If you have a recommendation that you know of that it takes place in an escape room, I would love to hear that. Next, coming out on April 7th, but I already have a copy of it because it came early in Alurial last month, is We Become Darkness. And this is a romantasy, adult romantasy that has vampires, so I'm gonna read it. I love vampire stories. I will never get old of vampire stories. Twilight irrevocably changed my brain chemistry to love vampire stories. That's just how it is. A human and a vampire forge an unsteady alliance in this marriage of convenience romantic fantasy. Little nervous because it says perfect fans of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I wasn't a fan of, but it is on my list to reread to see if I actually liked it. And then I did reread One Dark Window and loved One Dark Window. I'm still a little bit nervous with that first, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, because I was a little bored by that book. But I do have it. I do plan to read it. I will be doing an Alurial purge. Actually, here's my little... Gosh, I hate doing this. Here's my little, hey, check out my Instagram. I'm really trying to grow my Instagram, guys, so I get some more arcs. It's easier to get arcs on Instagram than it is on YouTube, that I've seen so far at least. But go check out my Instagram. I'm actually doing voting stuff right now because I thought it'd be really fun for my Instagram followers actually to pick the order of books that I read for Alurial. So I think I have right now, probably it'll be down by the time, obviously, that this video comes out, but we're voting on the first round, and there's gonna be a lot of rounds because I've got like 9 books or something like that from Alurial. So you have time. If you go follow now, I probably will have something up at some point for voting, but I'm having everyone vote on what Alurial books, like the order that they want me to read them. So I think right now To Cage a Wild Bird is winning, so we'll see though. I haven't checked it in a while. But anyway, so we'll be reading We Become Darkness in that Alurial purge whenever that comes out, hopefully next month. Next up, we have our first adult horror book, and it is called Bodies of Work. I actually tried to get a NetGalley arc of this one, but I wasn't successful, sadly. This is a supernatural revenge novella. You guys know I love a horror novella. Like, I am such a massive fan of horror novellas. It's one of my favorite ways actually to consume horror. I generally have favorable responses to horror novellas over long-form horror. Obviously, that's very generalized, but I love a short horror book. Like, they're just so much fun. Winston Kepper might not believe in ghosts, but he is about to learn that they are very real and they are very, very angry. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll pick up most horror novellas, unless it's like obviously extreme horror and splatterpunk. That's not it for me. Next is The Wicked Sea. This is a fantasy romance. It does say adult. I was thinking just based off of the cover that it was young adult, but it does say adult. This dark and sultry romantasy, a mermaid battles hatred and lust for the wretched warlock who saved her life. So this one, I always want to read more mermaid stories. I don't know if this one's for me just based on that little thing. I think I've heard a lot of people talk about this one, so that's why I added it. But the fact that it says sultry and then hatred and lust, I don't trust that immediately, so I'm definitely going to need to see more reviews about this one before I jump headfirst into the story. This one I will be reading for a video coming up soon in the next couple months. I'm very excited about this one. The ending writes itself, and this is an adult mystery thriller. I hate when these do caps lock and bold, like, hey, a propulsive debut like, I am screaming in my head this little thing, and it's so unnecessary. But this, I don't read. I don't read, apparently. I have zero comprehension skills. I don't read because my friend Amy had to tell me that this was V.E. Schwab. Like, it's 2 authors, but one of them is V.E. Schwab. And I was like, what? I had no idea. And she's like, did you read the Goodreads page? I was like, yeah. And she's like, go check it again. And yeah, right there, literally says it. Brilliant and diabolical creation of Kat Clark and V.E. Schwab. Apparently just can't read. Apparently can't read. 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives. I think that sounds fun. I also think that is a really fun thing if I can read it in 72 hours. So I hope it has timestamps and stuff on it because I think that'd be really cool. Next up, still in April 7th, we finally have a science fiction book, and it's called The Subtle Art of Folding Space. I love this cover. I love, 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 love this cover. It very much reminds me of Automatic Noodle and its vibe. So that's really cool. And actually I really enjoyed Automatic Noodle, but I don't think these are anywhat similar. Just the vibe of the cover is. Debut science fiction novel from Nebula and Hugo Award-winning author John Chu channels unhinged physics. That makes me a little bit nervous. I don't love physics. Generational trauma and the comfort of really good dim sum. This isn't your usual jaunt through quantum physics. So I could love this. This could go completely over my head. I almost failed out of physics every single time. All 3 times that I had to take it. High school, and then physics 1 and physics 2 in college. Almost failed it all 3 times, so I don't know what physics is. I was a chemistry girl, okay? Next up, we have a book that I'm gonna have multiple copies for, and I'm really nervous, and this is actually my last chance for Kelly Andrew. However, this sounds like, if I'm gonna like a Kelly Andrew book, this is gonna be the one. But I have DNF'd 2 so far, which is not great, but I have such high expectations for this one. If I don't like this one, I'm done with this author, sadly. But this is a vampire story, I believe. I have been wrong before. We have found that sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about quite often. So I think this is vampires. But now I'm like questioning myself. Please, is it love or is it bloodlust? It's gotta be vampires. Shay Parker has lived her entire life in the shadow of Gravewood, a deadly forest that's cut her town off from the world. And I love forest stories, so that also is going forward as well. And this is young adult. This is, see, it says vampires. It says vampires. With resources dwindling, she's forced to ration her hearing aid batteries. When her stash runs out, she'll be left in silence. Her only hope is Oliver Lysander, the volatile leader of the vampires who rule the Gravewood. I love how I could have just read instead of just yapping. But anyway, sounds like a young adult vampire book. So next is another young adult fantasy, and I think I'm getting a copy of this. I'm not 100% sure, but this is Steel Throne by Gabby Burton. I think this is the same author as, oh, I think it's like over here. Sing Me to Sleep. Sing Me to Sleep, which was a Fairy Loot pick. So I haven't read it yet. It's gonna be part of the Fairy Loot purge. It almost got picked multiple times in the last Fairy Loot purge, but hopefully we'll get to it this one. And this young adult fantasy novel, perfect for fans of Divine Rivals. A little scary. A girl who has always served others decides to take power for herself. So what makes this for fans of Divine Rivals? Because none of this that I've read seems even remotely close to Divine Rivals. This even talks about Kadrin and Luck compete in 3 deadly challenges called the Trials. That's nothing like Divine Rivals. Like, is it the writing style? Is that what it is? But like, literally nothing about this screams Divine Rivals. So why would Divine Rivals be the choice? Ooh, are we gonna do the thing? Hold on, I don't really have like time to do this, but we're gonna try doing the thing. That was the library, Unknown Binding. Nope, Divine Rivals. So last time, if you guys didn't watch my last video, last Heartless Hunter, see, depending on the edition on Goodreads is what the comp is. So this one says Heartless Hunter, which still doesn't seem like it fits that much. And like Heartless Hunter and Divine Rivals could not be more different books, to be honest. So again, I'm a little confused where the comps are coming from. This one doesn't even have any comps. So I don't know. I don't really understand the comps, but this one, oh, lovely underwear ad. I was like, what is that? Yeah, we got an underwear ad going on up there. Okay, this one's coming out April 7th as well. We are 2 left from being done with April 7th. This one is a young adult fantasy. I don't know much about this one, but I think I've read, oh, I might be thinking of a different author. Have I read? Oh, The Night Spinner, that's why. Okay, Night Spinner and Skybreaker. I enjoyed those. I did get rid of my copies just because they were fine. They were both 3 stars. They were fine books. They were entertaining for what they were. Action-packed enemies to lovers romantasy filled with a romance that will leave you breathless, betrayals that will rip your heart out, and a princess who will stop at nothing for revenge. Rowena Herrick, the crown princess of Tashir, left her homeland in a wedding dress of chains sent away to the enemy nation as a captive bride. Rowena is dead, brought home in a coffin after an alleged fall from a cliff. Second-born princess. Ooh, this actually sounds really good. So we're gonna be trying to figure out what happened with the murder and what else is going on. I like this. I love the cover. So I'm excited about this. And then this one says, it says April 7th on this. It said April 9th on my other thing. This one, I have not read the first one. I don't really plan to read the first one. I know there was a lot of controversy with the first, like a lot of controversy, but people seem to really like the first one who liked it. So the second one is coming out. Obviously, I can't talk about it because I don't know anything about it other than that the second one is coming out. Bloodsinger. I do like this cover better than the first cover. I wasn't a fan of the first book's cover, but this one is coming out April 7th for anyone who is really excited about reading the second one. Moving on to April 14th. The first one is a feminist humor book, but I love the title, Dear Monica Lewinsky. I don't know anything about this other than the title and that it sounds kind of fun, and it's gonna be about female martyrs, real life female martyrs. Told in flashbacks of those 6 weeks that changed Jean's life, interspersed with irreverent accounts of real female martyrs and visitations from St. Monica. Dear Monica Lewinsky is a tender, hilarious, and thought-provoking examination of desire. I love reading stories about women who are trying to fight back against the patriarchy, so this sounds great. Next one is called The Insomniacs, and this is a mystery thriller. It is an adult. The cover doesn't immediately yell mystery thriller, so I'm curious if it's gonna be cozier. The lives of four sleepless, oh yeah, I thought this sounded really cool. Lives of four sleepless strangers intersect late at night as they attempt to solve not just their own anxieties, but also the mysterious disappearance of one of their own. I think that sounds so fun. So this does sound kind of like murder, what is it? Murders in the Building? Only murderers in the building? Something like that. It sounds a little bit like that, so I think it sounds cute. Next, we have The Thorn Queen. This is one I have already DNF'd, but I do know some people are excited because the first book, The Rose Barkin, did come in a book box. So this one is coming out April 14th. I personally did DNF it. Didn't think it was very good follow-up, which I didn't love the first. I think I gave the first one a 3.5. The second one, it didn't add anything. The characters were acting weird. It was very boring. So personally for me, I will not be picking this one up, obviously, but if you are still excited about it, I would say at least try it. Next up is our next horror, and it's called Wife-Shaped Bodies. This definitely was like a, wow, this cover is crazy. Like, this is a crazy cover. Literary horror debut in which an isolated newlywed covered in mushroom growths like all the other wives in her community strikes a precarious balance between following her husband's strict rules and pursuing an intense connection with a woman who makes her question everything. We love a woman-forward story, and this is 288 pages, so it's like borderline. It's definitely more than a novella, but it's a very short book, so I'm excited. Next one, I'm a little bit nervous because I just had an issue with a Kylie Lee Baker, but not an issue, but like I just didn't like it. I didn't like a Kylie Lee Baker that I just read, so we're 0 for 2 with Kylie Lee Baker. But I will be reading Japanese Gothic. I think it sounds really good. This book sounds more up my alley than anything that I've seen so far, but it is taking place in two different timelines, 2026 and 1877, and there's like a samurai storyline going on, and there's like a ghost story, and it has to do with like a haunted house kind of thing, so I think this sounds pretty good. It sounds good. Next is a horror fantasy called Invasive Species. I really like this cover as well. The women in Cold Harbor all have something to prove, and they'll have to do it in a world full of monsters. Jill and Una team up to save the town once and for all, but as the rest of Cold Harbor sinks into anger, fear, and jealousy, they'll have to confront the what does it really mean to be a monster. So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of like female empowerment kind of things, and like what are monsters, like what creates a monster. So I always love a story like that. Next up, I will be getting this one. This is called Deathly Fates. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. A sweeping debut inspired by the Chinese folk practice of necromancy, Deathly Fates is perfect for fans of Descent of the Crane, Bone Shard Daughter, and A Magic Steeped in Poison. Corpse Driving Priestess, a holy servant paid to guide the deceased home. King Saiying has never feared death, but when her beloved father collapses due to declining health, realizes that even she is not free from the cruel grasp of mortality. So it does seem like a mortality story, which I'm a little nervous about, but I think this could be really, really good. Next up is a horror novella called Morsel. Blair Witch Project meets The Ritual. Makes me a little bit nervous about The Ritual, but love the Blair Witch Project. Jenner's helping of the men. Oh, love the menu. I love them. If you have not watched The Menu, I would recommend it for anybody. My parents hate horror and they love The Menu, so I would recommend that pretty much for everybody. Folk horror novella perfect fans of T. Kingfisher, Cassandra Khaw, and Paul Tremblay. Love all three of those authors. Well, Paul Tremblay sometimes. Sometimes. Lou accepts an assignment in the rural hills of Ohio, quickly finds herself stranded in the middle of nowhere with a sabotaged truck, a dog she's determined to keep safe. We'll see about that. And something stalking her through an ancient Appalachian woods. So the dog will be the deciding factor. The dog will be the deciding factor if I end up getting this one, but hopefully I have really high expectations for that one. Stranger things have happened. I actually just got a ALC of this one, so I'm excited to get to this one. Can fake dating lead to real love? In Casey West's new sexy adult rom-com, two people must decide where the lie ends and the chemistry begins. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory there. Moving on to April 21st, we have a horror. Again, this is a young adult horror. The cover, like, frightens me a little bit because it is an animal, but at the same time, that cover is amazing. This cover looks almost like a CG Drew cover, to be honest, which I think, like, again, there's trends, and I can see this trend a little bit going on. Perfect for fans of Don't Let the Forest, Don't Let the CG Drews, and Wuthering Heights. May the Dead Keep You is a gothic young adult horror about the past that haunt us and the stories we decide to make for ourselves. Story about breaking cycles of abuse and overcoming generational trauma. Edge of your seat, listen, equally horrifying, heart-wrenching, and hopeful. Oh, interesting. No, this is a hardcover. Edge of your seat, listen. It's like an audiobook thing. That's interesting. Anyway, sounds great. I'm gonna try it. Odessa, I think this is another horror. We got a lot of horror, actually. Historical fiction horror. Powerfully imagined Russia at the height of the pogroms. I was trying to figure out what that was, and I couldn't figure out what it was. A grief-stricken family turned to ancient magic to bring their daughter back from the grave. I think this one is best left to not know too much about it because of that. Thistlemarsh. I will be getting a copy of this. Have I read this author before? I had like a little bit of a flashback, but I don't think I have. The Gate of Memories, no. Okay, I have not read this author before. Fairies disappeared over 100 years ago as suddenly as slipping through a doorway. It was only the very foolish or the very determined who held out hope for their return. Welcome to Thistlemarsh, a ramshackle estate where an impoverished orphan and a beguiling fairy collide in an enchanting novel of love, revenge, and ruin. Wake of World War I. Okay, that's where the historical... Is it historical? Yeah, historical fiction comes through. Okay, I think that sounds cool. I love a magical house, a magical setting. So hopefully we focus on that. Ooh, you guys know it's coming. You guys know it's coming. I am gonna do a video for this one. I'm really proud of that video still. The We Used to Live Here video that did so well on my channel. For me, it was viral. Like, not actually viral, but for me, it was viral. I love doing that video. It was so much fun. So I do plan to do this. I do actually have an e-arc of this, and I was planning to read it super, super early, and then I was like, okay, problem with e-arcs is they do change wording, and wording in his books is so important. So so what I'm gonna do, because I need to read it a couple times, I'm going to read the e-arc probably in a week or two, and then kind of germinate, put my thoughts down, general thoughts, what I want to make the video like really talking about, do research, because I think no one can really post about anything until the actual book release on Reddit. So I'm going to research what is available, and then when the book comes out, I'll do more research. When the physical book comes out, I'm going to get a copy of it and mark it up like I did with the first book. So that's kind of my plan, and then we'll film a long form trying to explain the intricacies of the book. So that's my plan. Hopefully I follow through with that, but yeah, I'm really excited. The next book by Marcus Cleaver, The Caretaker, and it's set in the same world as We Used to Live Here. Like, everything that he does is really set in the same world. I have heard this one is a little less complicated. Like, there's not a bunch of extra stuff you have to solve, like the Morse code and all that kind of stuff that was in We Used to Live Here. There's a lot less of that in this book. So I do think it's going to be more everyone friendly, and if you don't want to dive deeper, you don't have to. The other one you kind of do a little bit. This one you won't have to, apparently, because I know some people have read it already. So anyway, I'm very excited to get to this book. I think I'm gonna love it. I cannot wait to do this. Otherwise, I just don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about this book. I have managed to avoid any type of spoilers, any type of knowledge about anything about the book, so I'm going to keep it that way. Witch Queen's Rising. This is coming out April 21st. Reclusive witch who fled the burden of her bloodline rises to be the greatest among them in this lush and haunting fantasy debut. I love this cover. This was definitely I saw the cover and I was like, yes, like I have to add those. And then we'll go from there. And New Orleans. Anything that's got a New Orleans like setting or vibe, I'm gonna try to read it. And the final date is April 28th, and the first one up is The Commons. I actually saw this. See, this is why I get why publishers send stuff to TikTok, because this suddenly came across my TikTok. My TikTok is not a book talk. It is just animals. It is entirely animals. every once in a while, I mean, there's crossover from like YouTube and stuff, so I'm sure it reads my like algorithm on other platforms and then tries to put it on my TikTok, and then I immediately swipe because I don't want it to be a book talk. I want fluffy animals on my TikTok feed and people doing stupid things. Like, that's what I want my TikTok to be. I don't want basically work content or book content consuming every aspect of all of my social medias, because my Instagram is all books, my YouTube is entirely books except for some shopping channels and stuff. I want my TikTok to be completely separate. Like, I don't even have like an account. Like, I made one and I put a TikTok up like a while ago and I was like, I don't like this. So it's just a, for me, account. There's nothing on it. So this one actually popped up and I was like, oh, I almost went. And then it was someone that I actually do. Like, I watch like 2 book talkers. This was one of the books, I think, that she talked about. And I'm very interested. I actually think it sounds really good. You must learn to think, act, and look like everyone else or face death. So yeah, I get why publishers put stuff out to TikTokers, because it's short form. You can flash the book and be like, look at this that they just sent me. This looks really, really cool. And it's like, oh, I want to add that. And that's pretty much what happened. And yeah, it's a school story. What do you do when all of your thoughts are being measured to make sure you are a common copy of everyone? What do you do when you are graded on how common you are? Future depends on your ability to conform. I mean, come on, that sounds so good. Next up is the second book in the Windweaver series, Reign of Remnants. This is the Sea Spinner. I own the first book, haven't read it yet, so I really can't tell you anything, but this one is coming out April 28th. This is a cover pick. It's a cover book. Obviously, it's going to be a cozy mystery. Murder Most Camp. I think that sounds so cute. The Guncle meets every time I go on vacation, someone dies. Fun, twisty mystery following a spoiled Nepo baby forced to work at a struggling summer camp who stumbles into a real-life murder mystery he has no choice but to solve. I mean, come on, that sounds so fun. Next is An Accident of Dragons. I think this sounds really cute. It says it's a cozy fantasy. It does say adult. Based on the cover, I would think it's like middle grade to young adult, but it does say it's an adult book for fans of Rebecca Thorne, TJ Klune, Sarah Beth Durst, and Travis Baldree. Unlikely Lord finally meets a problem he can't flirt his way out of in this adventurous and lighthearted queer cozy fantasy featuring pirates, dragons, kidnapping, tea, and other high fantasy delights. We're trying cozy fantasy this year, okay? It's going okay so far. Bloodbound. I keep hearing about this one. This is one that I feel like a lot of people have on their radar right now. High stakes fantasy romance trilogy set against a one-in-a-generation duel to the death between rival witches and dragon riders as they battle to control the source of all magic. Fans of Fourth Wing, Throne of Glass, yeah, all the big ones, all the ones that we're used to. Dark is When the Devil Comes. We finally have, this is a horror or a thriller. This is one I like just added. Unrelentingly scary and thrilling, ambitious and chilling novel from acclaimed horror author Daisy Pierce. Woods are known as a place to avoid. What goes in doesn't come out. Why did I add this one? I'm like trying to remember. Something isn't adding up. Other people in town whisper of a threat that can't be shaken. The woods are known for being restless, and Kathy knows the old saying. If you go looking for trouble, you might just find it. So it says it's a horror thriller mystery, so it could be any mix between the 3. Next is a young adult fantasy. This is a cute little cover. The Night King's Court. Caraval meets Flowerheart in this rich and immersive cozy fantasy where dazzling magic, lush descriptions, and a sweet sapphic romance cast an irresistible spell. I feel like April is spring. I feel like spring feels cozy. Spring feels cozy. So maybe that's why so many cozy fantasies are coming out. Next is Molka. I'm pretty excited about this. I still haven't read The Eyes Are the Best Part. I really want to, but this is obviously by the same author as that. This says, Molka, the Korean term for spy cameras, secretly and illegally installed, often to capture voyeuristic images and videos. I don't want to know anything else. The fact that the book is called that, this is going to be dark. It's going to be dark, and I'm really excited. This is another one I have an e-arc. I was just waiting to get a little bit closer to the date to read it, but yeah. Next one is called Break Room. I'm nervous because this already has a 3.25, which is really sad, but it sounds really good. Gripping and incisive psychological game show drama from one of the biggest stars in Korean fiction. And it's the same author as the Dallergut Dream Department Store, which is something I also want to read. 8 unsuspecting people receive an invitation to participate in a new reality show called Break Room, but what starts as an opportunity for fame is quickly revealed to be something formal and settling when they learn how they were chosen, voted in by their respective coworkers as the office villain. I mean, come on, that sounds so fun. So I don't want to look why people aren't liking it. I kind of just want to read it. And it's 160 pages. I kind of want to just read it and see what I think about it. And the very last book that I have for April 28th, I'm really excited because I am caught up in this series, which is crazy. I just read the second book in the series. So this is the 3rd book in the Buried and the Bound series. Obviously, I can't talk about it too much, but it is following a group of 3 intrepid heroes who are trying to basically take care of this little community that they live in from the Fae and from just outside forces. So it's cute. There are some mysteries that have been following along for all 3 books. So I'm really excited to finally get to the end of it. Like, I'm really excited to see what happens with especially one character. So very exciting to see what happens. I will be picking this up. I'm going to try reading it pretty much when I pick it up. So I'm also waiting for OwlCrate to say that they're doing the 3rd book, and I haven't seen anything, which makes me really nervous because it's almost April. So hopefully OwlCrate is doing the 3rd book. I will be very sad if they're not. Anyway, that is everything that I have for coming out in April. Obviously, if I miss something, definitely let me know so that I can add it to my radar, because if it's not on here, then I definitely don't have it on my radar. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely let me know down below if you found anything new, what you're most excited about for April. And yeah, that is everything I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.